Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The February 11th, 2026 regular meeting of this council will come to order. The clerk will now call the roll for attendance.
Councilmember Collins?
Here.
Councilmember Miles?
Here.
Councilmember Perry?
Here.
Councilmember Zajac?
Here.
Council Chairperson Archie?
I am here. And we will have the invocation, prayer, and pledge of allegiance. Councilmember Zajac.
Lord, today we ask for your calming love in a time of uncertainty, chaos, and turbulence in our state, our country, and in our world. We ask for your guidance as we look to make decisions that affect all that we have sworn to uphold and defend. Direct our thoughts, words, decisions, and actions toward the right path and help us stay on track. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's get to it. All right, section 3. Excuse me, we don't have any public hearings for today and no presentations scheduled. Liz, if we could call public speakers on legislative agenda items.
Okay. Our first speaker is Tim Huther on agenda item number 6.
Work session I thought was pretty good. Number 6 is concerning the establishing a city council advisory board body. I would like to ask that we could include a member from the union. I would volunteer myself if none of my other union members would like to. I think the union supports this, and we would like to have a hand in this as well. That being said, a couple of things I wanted to talk about during the work session I overheard. The one thing we're talking about, agenda item number 2, which was for the street lighting. That was never offered to the union. The city has the equipment to be able to service streetlights. We have obviously the equipment to service our traffic signals. We are currently waiting for, I believe, a scissor truck still to come in, new equipment, because we had to order one. The old one did not last any longer. But anyway, that is something that the union could do. I don't understand why the union wasn't involved in anything when it comes to that. This is work that is done inside the city, and as a union steelworker, we do have a CBA that does cover labor management within the city. So I would ask that we should be considered for that before you go blindly approving, because I listened to the figure that was announced during that work session, and I'm relatively certain that the union would be able to do that with the equipment that we already have, and would probably be a lot cheaper because we're already here. They would not have to call people in while we're already on the site working. Another thing I heard about was the executive office being understaffed, and we need to get somebody in there right away because they're so understaffed. Welcome to my world. We do that every day. DPW is severely understaffed, okay? If we can get somebody to come in the administration because they're shorthanded, get some damn DPW workers, please. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Anita, agenda item number 7.
Good evening. My name is Anita Hartunian, aka Sergeant H, aka Sergeant Hartunian. I'm an Army veteran of 12 years, medically retired, and I'm speaking on agenda number 7. This is an agenda that is very important, whether it affects me or not. by the grace of God, I just saw a little clip on it. It should have been widely publicized throughout New York, but it wasn't. So I contacted the council and got it on the agenda, and thank you, Councilwoman Miles, for your persistent work for that. Thank you. This is very important. We need to support our veterans a little bit more. And when I worked for a veterans organization, the first veteran that people think about is the Vietnam veterans. Okay, well, I'm middle-aged. We are the second wave, I'll say, this current cohort of veterans coming through. So, having said that, we really need to get more involved in what the veterans need. We need our community support on this. Governor Hochul, and shame on her, didn't make this widely publicized. This was my assignment from God. Saw it, I was like, you know, this is important, wasn't publicized, and I understand that a tax break, 100%, especially in Niagara Falls, seems like a large tax break, but considering that probably a guesstimation of less than 1% or less, maybe 30 people, 30 veterans in Niagara Falls are considered 100% service connected. That's not that much of, that's not a lot of taxes taken away from our city. So in between 2019 and 2023, the consensus was about 2,537 veterans in Niagara Falls. Since then, I understand it fluctuates. So I'm asking you to support our veterans and vote yes, and get more involved. I'm here to advocate. I'm here to advocate for all my brothers and sisters in arms, my veterans, and that's about it. That's about all I have. But community involvement is very important when it comes to veterans. We don't want to be invisible. We're about to retire. I'm medically retired from the military. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Donta Miles, agenda items number 2 and 3.
Good evening, Council. So for agenda item number 2, I kind of would like to echo the same sentiments as it pertains to how we look for people to give us services within our city, and kind of pose the question as to why don't we really start in home first? Why don't we look at what we already have? I think that's something that should always be, like, I would say almost first priority, because you know once we step outside, there's additional fees that are always going to be added. So I was going to come from a different point of that, but I think I would leave that in that space. We do, and also, once again, I agree as well, and I've set it up there as well, that we definitely need to address the understaffing of our DPW. And once we do that, I think a lot of other things will fall into place. That's for agenda item number 2. 3, Granicus, I wasn't able to make the work session. I don't know if you guys actually went over that, but the last time we've dealt with the Granicus issue as far as the short-term rentals, no one could really give us any facts as to how many illegal short-term rentals have been taken care of and addressed due to Granicus. Regardless of the amount, 30,000, 40,000, 10,000, it doesn't matter. If we're going to spend money on something that's not as effective as they produce or as they made it seem once we voted on it the absolute first time, we need to reassess that. Right now, short-term rentals is not our big issue in the city of Niagara Falls. We have a failed infrastructure that really needs to be worked on. And again, it goes back to the DPW understaffed space and the finances that we don't put into the DPW bucket during budget season. So that's something that I would hope that we would look into. Start at home first when we begin. If there's, our departments are able to handle a certain situation before we actually start putting out, requests for proposals outside of the city. Start at home first, and then two, for these items such as Granicus, again, that hasn't really shown that they have eliminated or was in a position to eliminate illegal short term. If they're not doing what they said that they were going to do, then we need to do something else, because doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different, is practicing insanity. Thank you.
That's our last speaker.
Administrative updates. Okay, community happenings. So there are several events for Black History Month being held at the Underground Heritage Center. I know on the 12th, which is tomorrow at 6 o'clock. On the 12th, which is tomorrow, there is a silent disco party at 6 p.m. On the 14th, there is a poetry slam, Inner City Minds, again at 6 p.m. That'll be at the Underground Heritage Center. The 21st, there's something called Sippy Cup and Paint, and that will be at 3 p.m. Men Standing Strong on Saturday will also be holding an event for the youth, a chili cook-off. I believe it's at 1, Vince? Sunday? 11 to 2. Men Standing Strong. Chili cook-off for the youth. Okay. Do we have anything else, Council?
Chairperson,
Yes.
the event on Sunday, will that also be at the Underground?
No, that will be at
1039 19th Street.
19th Street.
1039 19th Street.
Thank you so much.
Good to go?
I'll add one event. NOAA is presenting racial healing circles at the Underground Railroad February 22nd, which is a Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Underground Railroad.
Is that the last thing? Bear with me 2 seconds. There's an event on the 21st as well at the Sheridan. I'm not sure if it's sold out as of yet. And it is again celebrating Black History Month. There are some celebrants. You would contact the Highland Garden Block Club for any further information on that and the tickets. Good to go. Okay. Section 4, review and adoption of the agenda. We've had our packets and draft agenda since Saturday. Are there any motions to amend the agenda by roll call vote?
Yes, there is a motion to amend the agenda. In regards to item number 1, the stipulation to postpone agenda item number 1 was contingent on the fact of having E3 present us what they're going to do for the city. So I'll make a motion to cancel that agenda item for this meeting.
Is there a second? Okay. So the motion to amend and remove agenda item. Let me get this. Excuse me. So there was no second, and so the motion to amend and remove item 1 from the agenda has failed. Now I'll ask the question again. I believe I'm supposed to. As there are no motions to amend by roll call vote, is there a second on the agenda as it currently stands?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the agenda as proposed.
Is there,
Wait, I have a question.
yes,
So if I need to amend item 5, is that the section,
but,
title, or is that something different?
so it won't, you'll need to amend the motion
Okay,
and not the item.
okay. Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. So to move, council adopts the agenda as originally amended and proposed. Any requests for information? Any opposed? Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Colley? No. Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Archie?
Yes, and the agenda has
4
been
yeas,
adopted.
1 nay.
Thank you. Agenda adopted as originally proposed. We are at section 5, if I'm correct on that. Review and approval of minutes. So we have draft minutes from January 21, for our regular council meeting. They have been distributed to all members in advance. So the clerk won't read them aloud unless requested. Any requests for that? Okay, so the minutes are approved as distributed. All right, section 6, informational items from the city clerk.
Yeah, none this meeting, sir. Sorry.
None?
No, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we are now at legislative portion, section 7. And do I have a motion for item 1?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve and authorize the mayor to enter into the professional communications consultant agreement with the successful RFQ respondent, E3 Communications, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated February 5th, 2026.
Do I have a second? Second?
Your second?
I'm a second.
Thank you, sir.
So I won't restate the motion unless requested. Any requests for information? Any opposition?
Mr. Chairperson, my opposition is the same as when this item was brought up the first time.
Same, opposition, same.
Understood. Liz, can you call the roll?
Councilmember Colley?
No.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Similar to last time, the PIO position was not filled for X number of months. I believe if this was the end goal, we could have just kept that money aside and done this in the end instead of keeping a position and then saying that the executive office is understaffed, but apparently for the past 4 years. So, yeah, no.
Council Chairperson Archie?
Yes.
3 yeas, 2 nays.
Do you have a motion for item 2? Three yeas, 2 nays, the item is adopted. Do you have a motion for item number 2?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the contract award for RFP 2025-22R to Power the Construction Group, Inc., for the provisions of streetlight maintenance and repair services for fiscal year 2026 through 2027, and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement that successful proposer as more fully outlined in his recommendations memo dated February 5th, 2026.
Do you have a second?
I'll second. Second.
Again, I won't restate the motion unless a member requests. Are there any requests for information?
Yep, to what one of the speakers had said. There's no urgency to this item right now. Well, I guess in reverse order. Do you have any intel on what the speaker said regarding if the union was inquired with, if they could handle this work?
Well, what I can tell you is that the union does not maintain street lights that are on Niagara Mohawk poles, which is most of the street lights throughout the city. And so they have no experience doing that on NIMO poles, nor do they have experience, I think, with LED light replacement. The volume of lights is quite large, and it's not union work because they've never done that type of work on National Grid poles. Moreover, the idea that the union could do it for less, keep in mind that this is an as on-call service, and the overtime is different for union folks working for the city versus for this private contractor. So you've seen the rates, or you've at least heard about the cost of it. In terms of whether it's urgent, yes, it is urgent because all those lights have been converted to LED, and we knew going into the project that a service would have to be retained to do the repair work at any time of the day, weekends, and street lighting is important for public safety and liability concerns, but I rank the public safety component higher than the liability concerns.
Was the speaker talking about? If they
I'm not sure if
do
he's
not-
talking about signal lights or the much smaller number of city-owned poles with lighting, for example, on 3rd Street and Old Falls Street. I'm aware in the past that city crews have replaced light bulbs on the poles on Old Falls Street. Those are much shorter, if you can picture those. Those are the kind of architectural style. They're straight poles. They're not on arms. So it's a completely different animal. And I don't know if those have been converted to LED. I don't know if they could be. But all the overhead, the tall poles on arms, whether they're wooden poles or metal poles, 95% of those are owned by National Grid. And it's a huge volume. It's a huge volume of work and responsibility for, if that equipment needs to be maintained or replaced.
So there weren't city workers involved in any of the installation of the LEDs as we currently have them
Correct.
throughout
I mean,
for replacement?
they were not. City workers were not involved in replacing the old lumens with LED lumens on all the National Grid poles throughout the city. They were not involved in that.
Mr. Du Bois, just another question. You may not have this answer. It just really came to me after our work session. You know, I was on the council back in 2023 when we talked about purchasing this, and this would save us $800,000. Do you know if how much of this would eat into that? Ever hear any numbers in terms of the service portion of what we had before? Now that we're taking on the service portion, ever heard any numbers? Anything to your knowledge?
Well, what I've heard is that the savings are in excess of $800,000, and that money saved is money earned, and with that savings, a small portion of that annual saving will be spent on this maintenance service that you're being asked to vote on tonight. And you can look at the pricing and you can figure that it's really just a small fraction of the savings on an annual basis.
I guess attending the council work session, I believe the city administrator noted that we are still under contract with Wendell until a new vendor is chosen, and then they kind of do like a switchover. Would that be correct?
That's what it sounds like.
That's, okay. So I guess in that sense, as long as we still have someone that's doing the work or able to do the work until if this is a selected vendor, I would make a motion to postpone this until we can get clarification on the union aspect. On the union aspect. If that means speaking with the director of DPW, which I can put an email in to ask, and see if that's something that the city could handle itself. If not, then obviously this item can come back at our next meeting. Based on the information that Wendell is still under contract with us until a different vendor is chosen, which we were told at our work session.
Speak up.
I thought that we were, the contract for Wendell expires after, a year after the installation, was it? I don't know.
I didn't hear that in our work session.
Yeah, he didn't give a date. He said that we were
Under
still
contract with
under
Wendell.
contract.
Okay.
So the motion on the floor
Is to
then
postpone this
postpone
until our next meeting.
pending conversation to clarify union involvement with regards to the lights. Councilman Colley.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
No.
Councilmember Perry?
No.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Archie?
Yes.
3 yeas, 2 nays.
Okay, where are we? Do you have a motion? Yeah, postpone. Item postponed. So do I have a motion now for item 3?
Mr. Chairperson, I move the council to approve the authorize the mayor to enter into agreement with Graticus that will extend its subscription services for the 3-year term relative to the city's enforcement of STR ordinance as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation dated February 5th, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I will not restate the motion unless a member requests it. Are there any requests for information?
Yes, Mr. DuBois, I know we've been, since at least 2023 that I know of, have we received any reports from Granicus?
I'm sorry, say again?
Have we received any reports, any information that they have given us,
When you say
the city,
we,
Granicus?
are you referring to the council or
The
you're
city of
referring to
Niagara
the city?
Falls, city of Niagara Falls, the administration, have they given, they're supposed to be monitoring, doing the permits, have we received any reports from them?
Well, my understanding is that the Deputy Corporation Counsel spoke to you during the
Yes.
Information Center. And
Yes.
I think he told you that he is familiar with the dashboard and operates it.
Yes.
The reporting is provided through the dashboard.
So,
Right?
so it's a software,
Yeah.
and I've seen a piece of it. You can locate, a section of the city and this, that, and the third, but in terms of,
Yeah, if you want, at any given time of the year, if you want to figure out, for example, how many suspected short-term rentals are identified by Granicus as potentially not being licensed, you get a number. And that number is going to change throughout the year. So it's always a moving target.
got it.
Did you want to rephrase your question? Good. Opposition?
Yeah, I'm in opposition, because what I feel is that the same thing that's happened to the 311 system, where we don't have someone dedicated to making that transition from the system to the administration, I feel that if we were to take these funds and put it towards a position to have someone come in and be dedicated, and then we come up with the training on top of that, or in that matter, instead of having this being spent again, where, I mean, the people who are using it are giving issues, and then me, myself, and I brought this up in our work session, if we don't have someone, and I've seen a stack of illegally operating STRs of they're breaking codes, they're breaking hazards, someone, possibility of something happening. We are taking that on as a city. I mean, that's up to us as a city to do it, as an administration to do that. And I mean, what is Granicus giving us at this point where if we get the person, then we can follow up with Granicus. So I'm in opposition to it. Same with the 311 system. Thank you.
I think,
So,
go ahead.
I think from the work session, the explanation from the city administrator, and stop me if I'm wrong, the 2 building safety positions, once they're in place, they're gonna take 2 to 3 hours, I don't know if he said weekly or monthly, to monitor this.
So that was said. But the unless, and this goes back to having someone come here and explain the capabilities of Granicus, which we weren't able to get them to explain E3. I could bring them here for Granicus too to say, hey, what's the overall suite of this software? Because from what I saw from our corporation council previously, I mean, you don't need training for it because it's almost like a Google Map type program. You type in an area code and it shows you who's paid, who's not. You don't need 2 to 3 hour training for that unless there's something else that I'm not seeing. And that's why it would be good to have them come forward and do a presentation. It slices, it dices, it makes everything nice. Niagara Falls, here's the suite that you're getting. Because we still don't know the package that we got for $36,000.
So, but if we do that, like in the meantime, what will we do? Do we just hold off and wait?
Yeah, we have a contract, I believe. The council did testify that they do receive a benefit from it, even though they don't use it 100%, there is a benefit. If not, Granicus, then what? We just let the STRs run wild.
So if we're gonna have just a person to check in and take fees, I mean, our awesome city clerk could do that. So I'm expecting to get something more. And I'm not talking, I'm just being funny. But if we just want someone to collect money, do we pay, how come we can't get an employee to do that?
So, I'm gonna say this, I don't need the microphone.
That microphone doesn't work, Brian.
It may, but, so, in listening to the explanation about Granicus, to me, what I heard was user error, and people, the lack thereof, that are being attentive to it. As you stated with the 311, the system does what the system is supposed to. The people utilizing the system, that's not point blame, I'm just repeating what was said. The people that are utilizing it, right, that are supposed to, so if a report, hold on, so if a report is there, because it's kicking out reports, we know that. So if a report is there, and you would need to ask to see it, then don't do that, because you've been here long enough. So if you haven't asked to see one, I'm not sure what that's about. Hold on, I'm not sure what that's about. But the thing is, the reports are being shown, right? And if the folks are not interpreting the information correct or doing the due diligence to follow up, that speaks to our lack of employees, which I heard Mr. Miles say a few minutes ago, we need people.
Yeah.
Right? Right. We're not hiring anybody.
What?
I said us. Excuse me. I'm saying us. Right?
We just say, hey, we can work with the administration to do this, to get someone.
to the question. Ready? Yeah. Let's call the roll, Liz.
Councilmember Cawley.
I make a motion to postpone until we receive further information regarding what Granicus offers and what they're offering us as a city in terms of their package.
Is there a second? Motion to postpone has failed. The original motion still stands. Can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Cawley.
No.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Perry.
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac.
As former Councilmember Miles alluded, I was the only one up here when that first came up. Me and Councilmember Miles, Councilmember Bax, when this first came up. And the amount of speakers we had come speak with issues on it were substantial. As council members, we can only go by the information that's provided to us. And in the work session, the city administrator and deputy corporation counsel said that the user complaints that they have gotten are down. And I think Councilmember Archie, Chairperson Archie, I apologize, had noted that some may be user error, which that can happen with anything. And to piggyback off Councilmember Miles, there's two, I believe it's housing inspector positions in code enforcement that are vacant. We obviously have to fill those, but it was relayed to us by Councilmember or Chairperson Archie's urgence that one of these workers will be tasked with the information from Granicus. It's incumbent on us to follow up on that with the administration. Nothing is perfect, but I think Granicus now, from the information we've been given, is doing what it's intended to do, and now it's incumbent on the city to enforce it. With that being said, yes.
Council Chairperson Archie.
Yes.
4 yeas, 1 nay.
And the motion is passed. Do I have a motion for item number 4?
Mr. Chairperson, I move the council vote to approve Resolution 26-9 relative to reappointing 2 members of the Niagara Falls Planning Board.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Perry, second by Councilmember Miles. I will not restate the motion unless the member requests. Are there any requests for information? Any opposition? Liz, if you can call the roll.
Councilmember Cawley.
Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Councilmember Perry.
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac.
Yes.
Council Chairperson Archie.
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion is adopted. Do I have a motion for item number 5?
Mr. Chairperson, I move the council vote to approve the Resolution 2026-10 relative to requesting a partnership discussion and pilot program with Niagara Falls School District to reopen night gyms at up to 3 North End school sites, including the potential.
Wait.
Yeah, we're going to amend that. There's a
Yes.
motion to amend. We'll have a motion to amend. Well, we first got to put the motion on the table before we motion to
No.
amend it. Do we not?
What did I say?
Yep, Chairman, Councilman Perry's correct.
Yes, we jumped, excuse me.
We need to get,
So I will put the,
item 5, the resolution,
Amended.
well, Mr. Perry wasn't even able to finish reading the motion item, right? And after he makes a motion, then it's a request for a second.
then we could amend.
So we need to at least open up the motion
Yeah.
before anyone can say, I want to amend it. Okay, so there's an order.
So are we repeating this?
Okay, so you want me to, okay.
So we get it
Mr.
correct.
Chairperson, I move that the council vote to approve Resolution 2026-10 relative to requesting the partnership discussion and pilot program with the Niagara Falls City School District to reopen night gyms at up to 3 North End school sites, including potential support through Niagara Falls Fire Department or Niagara Falls Police Department's GIVE grant.
Is there a second?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I will not restate the motion unless the member requests it. Are there any requests for information?
Mr. Chairperson, I would like to make a amendment in this proposal. I would like to amend this to say, Resolution 2026 relative to requesting a partnership discussion and pilot program.
Slow down, slow down.
Let's just talk informally. What is the amendment? What's
The amendment is to strike the school, the specific schools to 3 schools without referring them to the North End schools.
Okay.
And the
So we-
amendment,
So then that would be a motion to strike the phrase North End from the resolution. And that would broaden it so that it's just 3 schools generic? Yes, the resolution should be now that through the pilot program at 3 school sites, subject to district approval of final selection.
Can I just jump in real quick? Can I
Yep.
jump in? So we're gonna change the title to take out 3 North End schools and add Niagara Falls City School District sites. So 3 Niagara Falls City School District sites, and then we're gonna go down to now therefore, that section, we're gonna take out Kelfis, Abbott, and Maple. And just leave it,
Counsel,
and just leave it as subject to school district approval and final selection.
we'd like to submit that to council so they understand what we're doing.
Can we?
Give it to the council so they understand the changes.
Good job, Bridget. You up there for a reason. People put you up there.
You don't care.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be voted on as amended.
Say it.
So it's 3 Niagara Falls City School sites. Good time?
I'm going to try to verbally explain the proposed amendments so that everyone in the room can understand what's being amended. So as I understand the motion to amend, it starts with the title caption, which is 4 lines long, and out of in the current caption, we're going to strike the words North End School. That appears directly after the number 3, and replace the stricken phrase North End School with the new phrase, quote, Niagara Falls School District. Everything else in the title remains the same. To continue the proposed amendment, going down to the first be it resolved clause, it starts with the phrase now therefore be it resolved. The motion is to strike everything after the number 3 and to replace it with the phrase Niagara Falls School District sites subject to school district approval and final selection, semicolon, and.
Good to go?
I don't remember if there was a second for the motion to amend.
There was a second. Can you call the roll on the amendment?
Who's my second?
Who's seconding the amendment?
Bridget?
Me. Thank you.
Call the roll, yep.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Archie?
Yes.
5 yeas.
Okay, so now we are voting to approve, a motion to approve amended agenda item number 5. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to
Read
reread that
it,
thing.
read it as
To
edited, correct?
Make a motion to,
I'll do it.
okay, go ahead.
Right? Thought so? Okay, so I'll move the motion. We have a motion to approve resolution number 2026-10 relative to requesting a partnership discussion and pilot program with the Niagara Falls City School District to reopen night gyms at up to 3 Niagara Falls City School sites, including potential support through NFPD's GIVE grant. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Bridget.
Bridget, second. I will not restate the amended motion unless a member requests it. Any information requests? Any opposed? Liz, if you can call the roll.
Councilmember Cawley?
I think it's a good amendment. Instead of having it concentrated on the north end with those 3 schools, we can open it up to whatever 3 schools the school district wants to have it. That's the reason why we're doing it. I think we can open it up. Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Archie?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motions have passed. Do you have a motion for item number 6?
Mr. Chairperson, I move the council vote to approve Resolution 2026-11 relative to establishing a city council youth advisory body pursuant to city charter, section 3.6A.
Do I have a second? Which one? Cawley, second. And again, I will not restate the motion unless the member requests. Are there any information requests? Opposition? Liz, if you can call the roll.
Councilmember Cawley? Yes. Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Archie?
Yes.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion is passed. And do I have a motion for item number 7?
Yes. Do you want to read? Okay.
7.
sorry. Mr. Chairperson, I move that council vote to approve resolution number 2026-12 relative to expressing the intent of the Niagara Falls City Council regarding preparation for possible implementation of proposed state property tax legislation for veterans with 100% service-connected disability and requesting information from the administration.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Crawley. Again, we will not restate the motion unless someone requests information.
This is directed to council. There is a reporting of 60 days, a 60-day report in there on the resolution. I have a question, is that enough time to provide that report?
Well, I think it's unlikely that this bill that has been approved by the Senate just last month is going to make it to the governor's desk and be approved within 60 days. But even if that were to happen, that would be the only thing I could report, and of course that will be well known to all of you as well. So I don't imagine that I'll have much original information in 60 days in terms of what the status of this Senate bill is, because it is not yet law.
So my question is, would it be better to postpone a vote on this until we find out what's going on at the state level? Any council member?
I don't,
Speak up.
I don't think a postponement is necessary, just my opinion. I did reach out to the senator who sponsored this bill, and he did confirm that this bill has been transferred over to mandatory instead of opt-in. I did also reach out to the governor's office. I think this is just putting it on record. This is the least that we can do for our veterans. After researching, and thanks to Miss Anita, and thank you for your service, I think this is putting it on public record and just a way to keep in touch, keep looking to it a little more and keep it on the radar so we can continue to follow up with it. That's just my opinion.
concern is whether 60 days for written implementation plan is appropriate or not. That's my major concern.
We don't know what jobs
If we're good with that, then
What he said was he's not sure that 60 days is a proper time frame for implementation.
Where is the speakers?
but if we're
don't
good
know.
with that, I'm good to go.
They need microphones.
Opposition? Any opposition? Liz, if you call the roll, please.
Councilmember Cawley?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Zajac,
Yes.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes,
Chairperson, excuse me, Archie.
it's all good.
5 yeas.
5 yeas, the motion is adopted. We are done with the legislative portion of our meeting, and we'll open up to Section 8, public speakers for the good of the community.
Our first speaker is Tim Huther. Topic of residency. Heather, is it? I'm sorry, Tim.
All right, I was here at the last meeting talking about some of the people working for the city administration that don't live in the city. Local law number 7, adopted December 17th, 1984, says that any employee hired after that date must reside in the city. Doesn't say acting, temporary, provisional, part-time, woman, man, child. It says any employee hired after that point. Now, if you want to know what the definition of an employee is, you can go to the Department of Labor's website, and they'll tell you. I'll pull it up here real quick because I got it. The definition of an employee, according to under New York state law, any person providing services for compensation where the employer controls what will be done and how it is performed, regardless of whether the work is full-time, part-time, or under a contract. So that means it would be non-union people too, because there's no contract. Okay, full-time, part-time, doesn't say squat about anything about acting, nothing like that. And I didn't get any special training to be able to do that. All right, so I can just simply look things up because some people aren't born geniuses. Some of us have to learn and be trained to be able to do the things we do. I wasn't born a mechanic, I was taught. So when there's work that needs to be done, we obviously need to train people to do that work. So I just want to make that very clear. There were 4, now there are 2 city employees that still work for the city that don't live in the city. One of them is the city administrator. One of them is a deputy corporation counsel, the same people that should know the city charter and know when they're violating it, that we shouldn't be allowing this. All right, I foiled the start dates. I foiled their addresses that are on file. We know they don't live in the city, okay? As a city council, you guys should be calling for an investigation and for this to be handled because this is a violation of the city charter. This is part of checks and balances. So I'm asking that you guys look into this and let's see if we can get this addressed. The union employees, we have it in our contract. Not only do we have to go by the city charter, we also have to go by a union contract. We've asked for this to give us a waiver for employees that have been here for longer than 10 years. And they said, absolutely not, wouldn't have anything to do with it. So I would ask that all city employees, whether you're administration, whether you're appointed, whether you're union, you must abide by this city charter. You council members all live in the city, I'll bet you. Everybody that's on the commissions, the boards, everything else, they're required to live in the city as well. Why is it not being applied across the board to everybody? I mean, everybody, we've had past city administrators. I know Nick Melson lived in the city. I know the corporation council, when we had Mr. Mazer and Craig Johnson, they all lived in the city.
Thank you, Tim.
Can't tell me that we don't have people in the city that can do that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Anita, and she'll be speaking on the good of supporting Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan veterans.
Hello again. Thank you all for considering the veterans in agenda number 7. It was much appreciated. So now I'm going to tell you a little story. Keep in mind when you hear about veterans, the Vietnam era, it was a volunteer and draft. My father moved here from Germany. He was drafted. All he had was his green card. Last week I asked him, well, Dad, how did you feel about that? He said, well, if you want to live in this country, you got to support the country. I thought that was very honorable. I also have 3 other uncles that were in the military. I'm the first and only female in my family that has served. So when you think about the military, now the Vietnam era they're older. We're the second wave, I'll say. So we really need to get involved. We need, if not us, then who? We need to get the community more involved with our veterans. I propose having a town hall meeting with our veterans and, just have a casual conversation with them, see what they're about. Some of them have too much pride to tell their story. Some of them don't. But remember that this is right now an all-volunteer military, which goes to show that we who volunteered kept your family, your friends from having to be drafted in the military, in the wars. I was in Iraq for a year, wasn't fun. So now we have a volunteer, but there is something called the inactive reserve. So we have to serve eight active years. And if, say, we get out at 6 years, we can still be called back if we're able in the next 2 years. So that's kind of the draft, but not really. It's a form of not enacting the draft. So what I want to say is, I'm gonna be advocating for our veterans, and I hope you guys will keep us in mind what we went through. And all in all, I support the red, white, and blue. I hope you guys do too. That's all. Good night.
Our next speaker is Tanya Barone.
Good evening. So, during the meeting tonight, when we were going over these agenda items, I couldn't help but think of a phrase for agenda item number 1. And that's, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. No matter how much we pay someone to try to train people with etiquette, how to act, how to speak, paint the city a certain light, it's still what it is. Save the $48,000, because we still have administration that will stick their hand in a cameraman's face in the camera, lock doors on buildings and lock kids out. It's behavior. I mean, it's like teaching a child etiquette to sit at the table and not chew gum, wear a hat, and which fork to eat with. It's a little too late for that. Just my opinion. I'm having an issue with our police department, and I know that I'm not sure if you can do anything about it. I was out of town last week, and my daughter had an incident where her neighbor decided to pick her dog up by its collar off the ground, head level, and let the poor puppy thrash around and choke. The police were called. There was an altercation between my daughter and this woman who said she don't raise her dogs like most people. And the dog was being destructive in the house. And she literally took it to the door and threw it. Neighbors have witnessed this. Now 5, 6 families have come forward, seen her kicking the dog, leaving it outside. The police have been contacted multiple times in freezing, frigid weather. This puppy that's probably about 6 months old has sat outside shivering, howling. I was one of them, the one that called too. After it sat out there for an hour, the police, by the time they came, they didn't even come. I called it off because she finally brought him in the house. Now, my daughter was threatened that this woman was going to go inside and get a firearm to shoot her. All of the neighbors got cameras now. The police refused to file a report because the police officer said that they get off in 2 hours and that it was going to be followed up with dog control. This was last Wednesday. Dog control is never called. They removed that dog from the house, the owner removed it from the house within a half an hour, got rid of it somewhere. But meanwhile, they've got this crazy woman living across the street from them, and no police follow-up, no DCO follow-up, and this isn't the first time this has happened. This happens a lot. So it's unacceptable. I called the chief of police. Guess who they put me through to? A voicemail from John Faso, who retired in 2023. And I've gotten no return call. I don't like the way this is handled. This is dangerous, and our residents deserve better. Our animals deserve better. And if this is happening with animals, it's also happening with people.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Janine Gallo.
Well, wow. I see I didn't think it could get worse than that up there, but it's bad. 3-2, it was a solid 3-2. It's pretty good at a 4-1 all the way for the next year. But on that note, I just do want to say something about all the snow in Niagara Falls. It's more of that I've ever seen in a long time. I thought I was in a third world country. The streets, I know I'm from the town of Tonawanda and I'm spoiled, but wow, how dangerous for senior citizens or just anybody to walk around or get anywhere. But on that note, when I left the last council meeting a couple weeks ago, when it was snowing and this and that, I was driving down Pine Avenue, and I just was looking at the businesses, the 6 maybe that are open still, and I got to that, and again, I don't even know who Shorty is. I've been there, but I don't even know who the owner is. That was the only property shoveled, cleaned, not only in the front, but around the side and everything on the whole street. And I took pictures just in case somebody wanted to question that. I actually turned around and was like, how do people, everybody's walking in the streets, on the boulevard, everywhere. They're walking in the streets. How sad. So I asked around and they said, well, there's 15 plows and only 6 drivers. Well, if you could pay people $20,000 a month in Erie County for a dog shelter, couldn't you subcontract maybe a few extra drivers for 3 months and get it approved up here and get the streets plowed for the people? You got trucks sitting there. I could be wrong. Maybe they're not. Maybe you have 15 drivers. I don't know. But for the first time I saw a Niagara Falls plow truck, I was excited. I tried to get a picture, but I couldn't. I was driving. But it's just so sad. And now I get notice, and we always talk about the dog park, and everybody doesn't want to talk about the dog park because it's a big secret. But now Mr. Booth, your DCO, is out soliciting to hire vet techs, looking for a doctor, looking for this. I didn't know you hired somebody to run it, because I don't know why he's interviewing people and asking vet techs to come in, because, for euthanizations and all the charming things that are going to go on there. Not quite sure when that RFP comes out if it's going to be just like the other one, pre-done, doesn't matter who applies, it doesn't matter, it's all set. I didn't know Mr. Booth was in charge of hiring medical staff for the place that's shouldn't even be in the park. Still waiting for the pictures, still waiting for a lot of things. And again, the frozen dogs and cats out there, we don't care about. And again, I asked last time for answers, and I still haven't gotten answers from our chairman about the dog shelter.
Thank you, Janine. Our next speaker is Frank Hanley.
Greetings, salutations. Social media is a powerful tool that we use quite frequently. I myself consistently, whether to holler, scream, preach, prophesy, or pray. One thing I want to say quickly is that we have to give an account to everything that we say, everything that we write, period, and hold each other accountable for what we say and what we write. Now, I'll at least leave that there, won't dig any further and call nobody cards out tonight. I have several concerns. Got a message to my inbox regarding G.J. Mann, the elementary school, who's getting ready to put together a program in the evening on February 26th, bringing a psychic and a medium. For those who don't know what a medium is, they kind of talk to the other side of the dead. And I just don't think that that is appropriate for that location in that setting. It ain't the NAC, it ain't Shays, it ain't that. These are where children go to school at, as well as teachers. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but this aftermath to that kind of exchange, whether you're spiritual or not, whether you're religious or not, there's just some consequences to those things. So I think that may not be your necessarily weight upon your shoulders, but that's the conversation that needs to be held at some point, that this, not saying that it can't happen, I don't think it should happen inside of elementary schools where our children reside and trying to compel their parents to come and support for $25. I don't think that is proper there. Now get off of that, you do what you will. Part two is shout out to Mr. Cawley for the meeting he had at the library recently that yielded the ability for us to come together and have great dialogue and representation. Shout out to you all, as well as Miles and Archie, who came on to the Ministerial Council to commute and have great dialogue. I want to say this, that I am grateful for your presence outside this room, because the room can be exhausting at times. The room can just be ridiculous at times, for sure, on both ends, from us the people and from the council. But I appreciate us all for the attempt to move things forward. I give you that credit. Let us just get serious. Let us get determined. And I'm going to just say this. I got a minute left. I'm going to holler at my boy Carly because this is very important. I'm going to say this and be quiet. Hold on. Wait. Just dramatic pause. What happens is representing us of color is a responsibility that is heavy. The minority, but the city overall. One thing remain current is that not just because it's Black History Month, disrespect isn't welcome from anybody. And if you cannot talk to each other from council, because I'm gonna tell you the honest, in 26, I got offended back here with some of the exchanges that happened in body language concerning those who I represent and holler at that I'm not really too fond of. Let's do better. Because if not, I will continue to call those things to the carpet. Because you won't disrespect anybody. I get heated conversation, I get it. But don't challenge anybody's incompetence or mindset anywhere. The questions are valid, therefore give valid answers.
Our next speaker is Donta Miles.
Good evening once again, Council. So, one of the biggest things that I would like is for you guys to be as effective as possible. I said that before. And I think I'm kind of perplexed and somewhat bothered that yet and still, and this is something that I have advocated for up in that seat, that we still, well, you guys still, as a council, has not brought forth the fact that we don't have a city controller in any of these seats, let alone the mayor himself and his administration, in which many times most of the agenda items that you guys vote on comes from his office. So the last city council meeting, my mom actually came up and she spoke on a situation when it comes down to the mayor not being here. Actually, someone else, we actually brought it up at the meeting that Mr. Cawley had, a great meeting as well. And someone said that maybe, well, they don't have to necessarily be here. Well, the same reason why I'm standing at this podium is because everything that I say it and I want it on record. She needs to be here. And whoever it is that works with her, because at the end of the day, if you have live questions that needs answers before you actually vote, whatever she says is on record. So not these silent, behind the door emails and quiet meetings and then come here and just regurgitate what you heard outside. That's one. So think about that. One is, why is it that no one is addressing the fact that we don't have a city controller who has the information as to what finances are spent and what's coming in? That's what you guys are up here for. That's your main job. That's one. Two, I was made aware that one of you guys, and I will leave them nameless, has a podcast that was able to talk to one of our department heads. And for 4 years of me being up there, I was not able, and multiple times I actually sent email to actually have a conversation with a couple of different department heads. And because you have to go through the mayor's office and whatnot, and they don't allow them to answer the phone for you, but I have kind of like this big issue that department head is actually able to go live on a podcast. Are we switching the rules mid-swing? Are we cherry picking as to who can talk to who? Because at the end of the day, I thought that was something that was in the city charter. Let's sit and think on some of those things.
That is our last speaker.
Our regular meeting is adjourned. 7:15.
Nicely done, Mr. Chairman.